cameraman. We good?
We're good.
That was close, wasn't it? All right. Hey! What's today? Garrett, what's today? Hey! Yeah, baby, it's Festool Friday. And what are we doing, Derek?
Plunge cut.
We're doing Festool Live. Man, I got to pull this out of these guys. Hey, Chris, what time is it?
12 noon.
Yeah, baby, it's Friday, Festool Friday. We're rocking and rolling. Hello, everybody. Okay. Got to introduce the room. I got a lot of stuff to do today. We're going to have so much fun. All right. Over here is Big D on the board.
Hey, everybody.
On the camera, we have Chris the Unit Cybert. Hopefully you get a chance to see him. And right over here, we have Garrett Sato on the whiteboard today. I can't believe Oh, that's unbelievable.
Happy
That
birthday,
ain't
son.
right. That ain't right. They got me laughing.
Happy
Okay.
birthday.
Yeah, whatever. Okay. Okay, we have Brent. That's Brent. Right there. That's Brent. That's Michael. That's Mulligan. And that's Clint. And that's Chris. Okay, good. Woo! All right. Yeah, it was my birthday yesterday. Yeah, I turned... Chris, how old was I?
41.
How old was I?
39.
39.
All right, so that works for me. I was actually 32, like LR32. Never mind. Okay. I want to call out Brent. He works online with us. Thank you, Brent. He's going to be there in a minute. He's out there saying happy birthday to me. Okay. God, you guys threw me off. I can't believe you did that. Oh, no. And this is Melinda. I got pickles. Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, and they're cold. Okay, I guess it's out. I like pickles. Thank you so much, everybody. This is Melinda Tinsdale. She works in customer service. Hang on a second. Melinda, how long have you worked at Festool? 14 years. She started right before I started, didn't you? And she's worked. And how long did you work in the warehouse? 8 years. It got a little cold on that forklift, huh? Okay. And now she works in customer service. So I just wanted to point that out because I've known her forever. Thank you so much. I got pickles. I love pickles. Okay, good. I'm going to put these over here. You guys have thrown me like unbelievable. Okay. Okay, so did I announce everybody? Oh, and we have right here, no more interruptions. Over here we have Garrett Sato. He's our GPS expert, geography expert. He's taking Minnie's position today. Minnie took the day off, which she takes like 1 or 2 a year. Okay. The department I want to call out right now is, I don't think I've ever called them out, but they are an integral cog here at Festool North America. I'm going to name them by name. We have Sun, we have Matt, and we have Scott. And guess who they are? They're our IT department. They keep the ship running. They clean all the viruses off of my computer. Just kidding. Okay. Okay, but they make sure we have good internet, and they keep upgrading. We're getting some new equipment soon. So I want to call it out because we love those guys. They've been here since day one on Festool Live, and they're the best of the best.
They take good care of us.
They take good care of us. Okay. This is episode number 56, and I got 3 more people to call out, okay? Number 1, we got a wicked nice letter from a close friend of mine this week, and Minnie got it, and I truly miss him because of this pandemic. His name is Dr. Derek Chaville. I believe he's from Monticello. He's from Monticello. Derek, we love you. We miss you. When this thing clears up, we want to see you. I also want to call out, somebody also contacted Minnie. She maybe put this on last week on Friday. His name is Oliver, and he's from Southern California. Oliver, how you doing? And the other one I want to call out because he emails me, texts me, messages me, and Blake, this one's for you. He asked me a couple weeks ago, hey, I see you using this. What is it? And in the past, I've shown everybody that I use this. This comes with the TS55, the cordless versions as well, and also the TS75. We call it a limit stop. You may have seen me when we straight line rip, okay? I use it as a gauge block, just like this, okay? But that's not truly what it's for, and today you're going to learn. It's for plunge cutting accurately and wicked safe. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna step through a few procedures with you, a few techniques, but there's a lot that's gonna come into play because I'm gonna talk about all kinds of things that are part of the Festool track saw system. Okay, we got a little bit of a reverse angle, don't we, Big D? So we can zoom in on this. I'm gonna start right over here. Now, whenever I used to teach about plunge cutting with track saws or saws, I would say, hey, somebody used to say, oh, it's because it's a plunge cutting saw, it's the only saw that plunge cuts. And I would tell people, absolutely no. You can plunge cut with a lot of saws. I used to plunge cut or do a drop cut on a table saw. All right? But you know how dangerous it is if you use the regular circular saw. I'll just pretend this is a regular circular saw. It's not a regular circular saw. But when you turn it on and this blade's spinning, you take it and you plunge in. Okay, and then you move it forward and plunge out. It's not a safe operation. It's actually quite dangerous because you have that wonderful kickback that's involved with that, or the potential of it. And it's really nerve-wracking when you do it. Well, the plunge saw, or plunge cut saw that we have is actually, it's on a pivot point right back here, so you can plunge with it. And when you plunge with it, or what you do with it is, let's just pretend this is a countertop, okay? And I want to go from, and I'll show you, I did the other cuts yesterday, okay? I need to cut out maybe a sink or a cooktop and a countertop, and I want to do it, and this is the beauty of it, I want to do it accurately, but I also want to do it safely. And this is what this does. Now, a lot of people have been asking about this since I showed it as a gauge block. But the thing I wanted to point out with it is this has been in your sustainer or stored on your TS75 for years, and people don't even know what it's for. Okay? Recently, well, a couple years ago, I call it recently, I had a group of instructors in here, and they teach using the Festool track saw, and I whipped this out, and they went, what's that? And I go, don't you teach plunge cutting all the time? They go, all the time. We just tell people to hold on to it because that may kick on them. And I was like, daggone it. Nobody knows about this thing. So we're going to clear the air and all the myths about what a limit stop is. So what I'm going to do is when you're doing your layout for cutout, it's important because this may be up against, and you may not have all this. This may be up where you're going to put your faucet in or anything. You have to calculate for the curve of the blade. Okay? I don't want to calculate for the curve of the blade, so I'm going to bring it right up to my line, just like this. Are we getting this, guys?
Mm-hmm.
See that? And what I'm going to do, whenever I plunge cut, I find a way to what? Clamp it down. So I'm going to take it like this, bring it right over to my line, my witness line, and I'm going to clamp it in. Okay? That's why we're going to have this camera right down here, Big D. Okay? I'm just going to slide this on just like this to have it, and have this here, because I'm going to show you the layout lines that you may or may not know about. Okay? Now, I'm using the new TS55C. No, TS. I'm really bad. I should have written this down on the board. Garrett, TSC, by the time he's done it, TSC55K EB. Okay, this is the new one. It's got a 1.8 millimeter curve. And while setting this up today, I learned something else that I'll show you in a few minutes. Okay, all track saws have this. Now, when you first get the track saw, I'm going to take this off. This is called the outside splinter gun. Okay, you got this, Big D?
Yep.
It comes with the window. Now, the window's nice because it has this little piece of plastic right here that actually blocks the dust, so you get better dust extraction. But what you may or may not know, check this out, it's got a line on this. Now, can you get this, Big D, the line on there?
Yep. We're looking right at
Okay,
it.
and there's also another line on here, and I'm going to highlight it right here. Okay, see it right there? Got it, Big D?
Yep.
Okay. Now, here's a few things you gotta remember when I'm doing the setup. Those lines come into play when your plunge cut saw, track saw, is in the full depth position. Okay? So what I'm gonna do is the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the depth stop, I'm gonna bring it all the way down so I'm at full depth. And if we check this out, and this is where I wanna come in here, Big D, I want you to get this.
Yep.
You may see that that tooth is not lining up there. And I'd be willing to bet that that is 5 millimeters difference because that line comes into play when it's on the track. Follow? Now, I'm going to use the outside splinter guard today, and that has the same line. So these lines are actually my entrance and exit points for my plunge cut. So I think it's coming into realization for everybody what these actually do. All right, now let's come over here, Big D, hopefully you're here, and I'm gonna bring this back here, okay? And I'm gonna take that line. I always like to do a setup block like this, bring it right to my line like this, okay? And bring that in. Can you get that? Are you getting that, Big D?
Yep.
Okay, just like that. Now, this is what that little ledge on the limit stop is. Man, those pickles look good. Okay. Okay, look at this. You see this little ledge? Now come over here. You see this right here? Okay, watch. I'm going to put this on here like this, and that keeps it, as I have this full speed, it keeps it from lifting. So it's wicked safe. All right, I got that set up. I'm going to take my setup block. I'm going to bring it over here. And on this one, Big D, you'll get this. Look at this line. See it right there? I'm going to bring it in, and if I don't rush too much, I always have a second stop, and look where I'm going to bring it, right here. See it? So now I don't even have to think about it now. I have a perfect starting and stopping reference blocks, but this one has the ledge so it doesn't lift up as I'm doing it. Now, have you noticed as I'm doing all this setup that the batteries are removed? Always please do that. Okay, now let's get the battery on, and I'm going to talk about another thing here. Okay, I got that on there. Oh, you know what I got to do? I got to grab a Bluetoother. These are my olders. I'm going to put the Bluetooth battery on here. I got this all hooked up. Now, I always do a test because I don't know, sometimes I don't know that this battery is already linked to the Bluetooth, so I'm just going to do a test. It is not. Okay? See how it's Bluetooth right here? But I have my remote right here. Instead of going back to sync this on the CT dust extractor over here, I can just touch that button right there. Okay, and watch. The vac now comes on. Okay, so that's what that button right there is for, or one of the things. Okay, so I'm going to take that, and now I'm going to plunge cut. Always start at full speed and bring it up full speed, and you'll get this cut just like this. I'm going to set this over here. Get out of your way, Chris. Get this out of the way because I'm going to take it a step further. Okay, I'm going to get this moved away. And look at this, everybody. Look. Look at this. Look how it stopped right there, right on the line, and look where I started it right here on the line. It doesn't get any better. Okay, so let me get this out of the way. Woo! I'm just getting warmed up. I'm going to take that battery here, and I'm going to put it on my Carvex jigsaw. Because what you have in here right now, okay, see how it's not cut all the way through? It's because of the geometry of the blade. We've left that little swoop in there in the corners, here and here. So you got to cut that out. Now, you could use a handsaw, okay, but what I learned yesterday, I just said earlier, the kerf thickness of that new blade is 1.8. The Carvex jigsaw blade, look, is about 1.65, 1.7. So that fits right in there. I got it on my Carvex jigsaw, okay? And I'm just going to make a quick cut with that. Check the battery out. Look, just like this. Woohoo! I'm ready to go, okay? So what I'm doing is I'm going to come right in here. I'm going to get the blade right in there like this, okay? And I'm going to come right up to my line, and I'm just going to make that quick cut. Okay, there's one. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to get this one. Okay, and you guys all get the gist of this, right? And I'm going to come in. Okay, I'm going to come over here and get this one, just like this. Okay, so I'm going to take that step further because I want to show you a little tip I learned early on. And you'll see, look, as I bring it out here, look how that's coming out, right? Whoopsie. I don't want to break it. I'm going to turn it. So say this is, let's say, 1.5 inches thick, right? Okay? And you're cutting that cooktop out or a plunge cut. And that's in the, what happens is that wants to fall through and drop, right? So here's a little tip I learned early on. Yes, I'm using a lot of Festool. Okay. I'm going to make what I call a support bracket. I'm going to put it on here. This is my countertop, right? This is my cooktop. I'm going to drop a couple screws in here like this. Really cool, like this. So I'm going to take that like that. That keeps it from dropping on you, and I'll make these final cuts. Just like this. And trying not to cut my MFT. Bring it right over here. Bring it over here. One of the things I want to teach you about the Cavex is I see a lot of people going like this and looking down here, and they say they can't see that. For me, it's my line of sight. I'm looking down here, okay? So let me turn that on. And I can bring it right in. I'll come over here, do my final cut. Oh, that had a little bit of schmutz in there. And there we go. And, whoopsie. You know what happened?
I know what happened.
You know what happened?
Oh, yeah.
You know exactly what happened. I love it. Always make sure you use short screws if you're screwing into the MFT. But there you go. Hey, the MFT needed a couple extra holes. Now, you guys wait for it. Garrett, wait for it. I would say that's picture perfect. Okay. Was that terrible or what?
All right.
Okay, I'm getting bad in my old age.
You're
okay.
all right.
Whew, I can't wait till I turn 40. All right. The next thing I want to do is I want to show you the setup on the 75. And I think you can all understand it's the same thing. These lines come into play, look, right here. See the line right here? And right here. They come into play in the setup when you are in what? Big D, remember? Full
depth.
Okay? And that's how they come into play. Now, the outside splinter guard is different on the 75. Okay? This used to be on the, some of you out there may have an older TS55, the original TS55, and it used this splinter guard. When we upgraded or innovated the TS55 REQ, we added a new one that actually lives in the housing. This goes to the outside, but once again, when you have that outside splinter guard, there's an extra line right there. So I'm just going to put that on like this. It goes like that. I push it down, and there you go. So when you do your lineup, it's the same thing. Now, on the 75, just as a reminder, your first limit stop is stored right on there, okay? And I always tell everybody, just get a second one of these, okay? Or another way of getting a nice second one is buying a TS55 to complement your 75. I'm terrible. I'm terrible. Okay, but here you go. And that's your setup, and it works the exact same way. It goes right in that track. Cool? Okay. Looking at time, because I want to take you a step further. We did this, I forget in what episode, but you can probably reference it on YouTube on the Festool USA website. Okay? I went over, did I go over plunge cutting when I talked about the HK?
Yep.
Okay.
Because
so
you did the skylight application.
this is the rail that comes with a carpentry saw. Okay? I'm going to take that off. You just move this tab like this. Okay? But this is the tab I want you to see. And this is the cordless version. See this tab right here? Watch. Hopefully you can see this. See how that comes up? So when I put it on the rail, I've already locked it in. Okay? You're going to notice this is my blade guard. So I've seen people fumble with this and put it on here like that. No. Lift up the blade guard, and now you can do your lineup. Okay. So the first one that a lot of people aren't aware of is this is my entrance point, or close to it. So we wanted to make sure you could plunge cut with the HK saw, because you may be up on a roof and you need to plunge through for a skylight. Okay, do a through hole in some sheathing, whatever. Okay, you have that opportunity, but to do it safely. Right? Now there's another point here that not too many people know as well. I use this. See this point right here? I use that as my exit point. And that mark there, where are you? Right there. And that mark there gets me very close to entering and exiting. Okay? So I'm just going to set it up really quick because there's a call out I have to do. Chris, come in here for a second. I want you to see this. This is the limit stop. You don't get a limit stop with the HK saws, whether cordless or corded. But I want to show you this. This is what I've learned. If I take a limit stop and open it up a little and put it on there, okay, and I have this lined up, I'm ready to go. As soon as I take that off, I lose it and it starts to move. So when you are ready to go, make sure I have it lined up. And there's my point. I lock it down so it's safe. And then this one, I'm going to have to come back and reset it. I just do a quick line up here. See this? I'll loosen that stop, bring it over, and I'll eyeball it right in there. So I have that. I got to come back here because I moved it. Duh. Okay, you got to lift it up just a little and lock it down, just like this, and I'm ready to go. So what do I got to do now? Did you notice I had the battery off? I'm going to put that on here like this. Oopsie. I'm going to get that Bluetooth. Where are you, Bluey? Got it right here on the Carvex. I'm going to. It's called dust extraction, Chris. I'm going to put that on there. Oopsie. I moved it. Lock it back in. Lock it back down. Get my dust extraction. Do you get a lot of people on there? Good. So I'm going to take that. See that? Okay, good. I'm going to put Chris is going, I could do this better than him. No way. You ready? So the thing you got to know is when I push this down now, it's going to lock in position. So what I like to do is I like to take it just like this. Okay, I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to plunge. Okay? And then as I get to the end, okay, I have to release it again to bring it back up. So it's very safe. If I was doing this on the other side, I usually just have my thumb and I can hit that button. So it makes it really safe and pretty accurate. Okay? So that's how you plunge cut with our saws. So, as I'm looking around, Big D, did I cover everything?
You sure did.
I think I did. Remember the Carvex blades, the same thickness as that, or very close to the new thickness? I learned something every day at Festool. And when I was set up, I learned that. So I think we got it all covered. Holy moly. Hey, he's got pretty good printing. All right. So, I think we covered everything. I'm sure Brent's got all the questions answered.
Oh, yeah, he's been doing an awesome job today.
He
had quite a few questions.
does. I'm just looking around, so I guess you know what I have to do. I have to call out where everybody's from.
Let's do it.
Okay, so we have Edmonton, Alberta, Lausanne, Switzerland, Pahonix, Arizona. I'm just kidding. Phoenix, Arizona. I know who is from East Yorkshire, England. That would be you, Ian Harrison. How you doing, brother? Berlin, Germany. Malta, that's Christopher. Cottage Grove, Minnesota. Georgia, Frederick, Maryland. Montreal, Canada. Bloomington, Indiana. Go IU. Toledo, Ohio. Newlands, South Africa. Greenville, Texas. Boucherville, Quebec. You hear how I said that? Quebec. Okay. Finland, South Africa, Maine. I know somebody from there. Madison, Wisconsin. Arizona. Netherlands. We probably get a 2-pack from the Netherlands. We have Georgia, Lithuania, Rochester, Michigan, North Carolina, Independence, Kentucky. Hey, I'd like the name of that place. Independence, Kentucky. London, Ontario. Avon, Indiana. I know some people from there. Scotland. Wallingford, Connecticut. Wow. Warsaw, Poland. North Shore, Hawaii. Is that you? Because Garrett's from Hawaii. Anybody else? And on the other side? That's it? Oh, short list today. That's why we missed Minnie already. So, hey, everybody. Like Garrett goes on. Garrett's online next week, so pay attention. He's our online guy answering questions for you next week. Okay, Minnie's back in town, I believe. All right, I just want to say a thank out to everybody at Festool for my pickles. I really appreciate it. I want to thank you because we love you. We are here because of you. You guys have been watching these on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. See, I forgot, but I remembered, didn't I, Chris? Don't forget to subscribe to all our channels. Don't forget to follow us, befriend us, and hit the notification bell on YouTube. These will live, and guess what? Everybody's watching them. They continue to watch them. This is episode 56. We love you. I can't say that enough. And is that a wrap, Big D?
I think we're good.
Everybody, that's a wrap. I'll see you next Friday. You better tune in because it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to be using a Capex. I'll give you a question. What can you do with a Capex, a 1400, and a track saw?
A lot.
So you wait. We're going to have some fun next week. I'm going to show you all kinds of techniques for doing all kinds of wonderful tenons. All right. I leaked it out. So thank you very much, everybody. See you next Friday at noon. This is Festool Live. Wrap.